Today on Campaign Check, Labour says it will begin a wave of nationalisations in the first 100 days of its term in office. The party's promised to bring rail, mail, water, energy and broadband all into public ownership. In its manifesto, it says the move will be fiscally neutral. In other words, it won't cost the public anything. But is that true? Let's take a look at the figures. First, buying these businesses will cost at least £50 billion. That's the price of compensating the current owners. But these companies also have existing debts of around £150 billion. But Labour argues that's all outweighed by the assets being added to the government's balance sheet. In other words, the value of the companies it's acquiring, estimated to also be around £200 billion. So the numbers add up, right? Well, in theory, yes, but let's take a closer look. First, at that £50 billion figure, the Shadow Chancellor John McDonnell has said Labour wouldn't sign a blank cheque for these businesses. The problem is that investors are unlikely to be happy with just that £50 billion because it's what's known as the book value, not the market value of the businesses. To take the water company Severn Trent as an example, its book value, in other words, the physical value of the assets like buildings and infrastructure, is around £1.23 billion. But its market value, which takes into account things like future profit, is nearly 5 times that much at more than £5 billion. If Labour does try and pay less than market value, that could pave way for legal action and it could cost them dearly. For example, both SSE and National Grid have set up holding companies in jurisdictions like Switzerland and Luxembourg, where treaties mean they'll have a better chance in any potential future legal action. The real question, though, is whether these businesses will be run better in the public sector than they were in the private sector. If they make big profits, they'll be shared amongst all of us. But if they make losses, the taxpayer could be on the hook. Take the rail industry as an example. Labour have already pledged to cut rail fares by 33% at a cost of about £1.5 billion, a cost that wasn't in the Labour manifesto. And while they say the money will be taken from a road repair fund, that will still mean either £1.5 billion less gets spent on roads or it needs to be raised in extra taxes or borrowing. So while it might be possible to nationalise at no cost, it's by no means guaranteed. And owning these public utilities will expose the taxpayer to potential risks as well as potential gain.